Okay, so you guys sent us this World Economic Forum article, right? And it's about AI, obviously, and what it means for the future of jobs. Like, will any of us even have V jobs in like 5 years, you know?
Yes, it's a question everyone seems to be asking.
Totally. And it's understandable with all these headlines, right? It's all robots are coming for your job, doom and gloom. But we're going to unpack all that, don't worry. And hopefully, not descend into total robot panic.
Right.
So one of the things I found super interesting about this article is that this whole technology is going to steal our jobs. Fear, well, it's not exactly new, is it? I mean, this goes way back.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's practically a tale as old as time itself, or at least as old as, like, the Industrial Revolution,
Yeah, right. Like, remember that letter to President Johnson back in the 60s? I think it was an open letter, actually. But there was this whole group of, like, leading intellectuals, scientists even, and they were totally freaking out about computers, right? They were convinced computers were going to cause this, like, mass unemployment.
And it's funny you mentioned that because, I mean, even earlier than that, you had people like, there's this one California mayor back in the 1930s. He called all the new technology then a Frankenstein monster.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty dramatic. He was totally convinced it would destroy the manufacturing industry, put everyone out of work.
It's like every generation has its tech panic, right?
It seems like it.
But here's the thing, and this is the interesting part. It never actually panned out that way, did it? Yeah, okay, some individual jobs got lost. Bye-bye, lamplighters. But on the whole, employment actually grew.
And that's the crucial point. Because historically, yes, some jobs become obsolete, but new needs pop up, new industries. Which, of course, leads to...
New jobs.
Exactly. New jobs. Think about it. The car. Put horse-drawn carriages out of business, right? And all the jobs went with them. But then it created this whole other world of jobs. Manufacturing, repairs, sales, you name it.
So are we saying history's on our side? Nothing to worry about.
Well, not so fast. This article argues that AI, this time it is different. And it's a distinction worth looking at. Because it's not just that machines will help us do our jobs faster or whatever. This time, they could actually replace us entirely.
Okay. Gotta admit, that's a little unnerving, to say the least. I mean, how are we supposed to prepare for jobs that don't even exist yet? It'd be like, I don't know, asking someone back in the 80s to prepare to be like a VR experience designer or something. Like, what even is that?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong to feel that way. Trying to pinpoint the exact jobs of the future, it's kind of a fool's errand, if you ask me. It's just too unpredictable.
Right.
But, and this is a big but, the article doesn't just leave us hanging, like it's not all doom and gloom.
Okay, good, because I need some of that.
Instead of getting hung up on what these future jobs will be, they say we should be thinking about the forces that are going to shape them. The what, not the what.
Okay, I like that. So what kinds of forces are we talking about?
So one thing they highlight is this idea of, like, unmet needs, things that aren't working as well as they could be, right? So, for example, do we have, like, perfectly efficient and sustainable cities right now?
Not even close.
Exactly. Or how about healthcare? Is healthcare as effective and accessible as it could be?
Okay, so we're not exactly living in a utopia. I get it.
Right. So my point is there's a lot of room for improvement, right? Which means there's potential for tons of new jobs, even entire industries, to pop up just to address those issues.
Makes sense.
And that's just thinking about doing things we already do, but doing them better. And then on top of that, you've got this whole other category of, like, needs that we don't even know we have yet. Kind of like, remember when the iPhone came out?
Yep.
Suddenly, you've got this whole new demand for app developers, UI, UX designers, social media managers, jobs that were literally unthinkable just a few years before.
It's true. We had no idea we needed an app for that.
Right. And who knows what the next iPhone-level disruption will be, but you can bet it'll bring a whole slew of new jobs with it. And one other thing to think about, too, is how tech impacts demand. Think of it this way. AI has the potential to make things, like, way cheaper to produce, right?
Sure.
But here's the thing. Cheaper doesn't automatically equal fewer jobs. In fact, it can often mean the opposite. The article uses the example of international travel.
Okay, interesting.
So as air travel got more affordable, meaning more people could afford to fly, what happened?
More people flew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Demand went through the roof, which led to this huge boom in tourism, hospitality, all those industries that support it.
Yeah.
So even if AI makes certain things cheaper to make or whatever, that could actually lead to more jobs overall. Just maybe not the jobs we're expecting.
Okay, so this is all starting to make sense. I gotta be honest, I'm still a little, freaked out about the whole becoming obsolete thing. So, like, what can I actually do about it? Like, me, as an individual, how do I not get left behind in this whole AI revolution?
And that's a question the article really digs into,
Yeah.
which is good because I think that's what we all want to know, right?
Right. It's one thing to talk about these big picture shifts, but I need some practical advice here.
Absolutely. And the good news is the article delivers. See, it's not just about predicting the future. It's about giving us tools to actually thrive in it.
Okay, so what kind of tools are we talking about? Give me that roadmap.
So one of the big takeaways is this idea of adaptability and lifelong learning. Basically, because things are changing so quickly, the ability to learn new skills, new jobs, that's going to be more valuable than ever.
So it's not enough to just like learn one thing and coast on that for the rest of your career.
That's the old way of thinking. This is
Uh,
about constantly evolving, constantly picking up new things.
which honestly is kind of exciting when you think about it.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's where government investment comes in, which the article talks about too. Kind of like how during the Industrial Revolution, governments put tons of money into roads, bridges, that kind of infrastructure.
Yeah.
And they also invested in education, right? To get people ready for those new jobs.
Yeah.
We need that same forward-thinking approach now, but for the digital age, you know?
So like what kinds of things specifically?
Well, things like digital literacy programs,
Yeah.
making sure everyone has those basic skills, making sure skills training programs are accessible, investing in emerging technologies, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. So it's not just on us as individuals then.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
Navigating this future of work, it's going to take all of us.
totally. Okay, anything else we should be thinking about?
Oh, yeah. The article was big on this too.
Yeah.
Supporting entrepreneurship, small businesses, because historically they've been huge job creators.
Right.
And that's likely to be even more true in an AI-driven world.
So like fostering environments where those small businesses can thrive, where innovation can happen.
Exactly. We need that more than ever.
This has been really eye-opening, I have to say. So to wrap things up for everyone listening, AI is definitely going to shake things up, but it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom.
Exactly.
We can't be afraid of the future. And if we learn, stay adaptable, and keep those conversations going, who knows what amazing opportunities this new world of work might bring.